Alright, so here's my storyboard explaining the scene whenever James and George meet. I thought I would kind of vocally explain what's going on because my handwriting's kind of bad. So we have the first shot, whenever it's a wide shot of James striding over to the bar with confidence. It's dark outside, and there's the bright light over here, kind of talking about the, kind of showing like the bar light because like it's nice and bright in there. He walks in, it's a close shot with the back of his head of him walking towards the bar. You have the bartender, you have the bar, and then the bright lights that are throughout. James speaks to the bar and he asks for an air pump as he walks up with like some confidence. Then it's a close shot of James sitting at the bar, but it kind of exposes George in the background, showing that he is a prominent figure that's probably going to come into play. Kind of shows like he's getting a little bit nervous about how it might be spotted. And then George pats James on the shoulder. This is obviously a close-up shot. The black like fuzzy thing is kind of like the darkness surrounding him. He's like, oh my god, what just happened? And George starts speaking to him. He kind of comes to and he backs away from the bar in shock. Medium shot here, and George is talking to him a little bit, kind of leaning up on the bar. James is still in shock while George is talking to him, just talking about his day and his life and whatnot. And then George offers James a beer, kind of like offering really friendly face. And then as they start talking a little bit more, it's the same like kind of back shot of George's head, and James and George start speaking and he becomes very comfortable. So that is the first one. And then the second scene is the one where he's spying on George. So we have a wide shot of George on top of the building. He's kind of spying on him. You have the clouds and his jacket kind of showing, exposing like he's very noticeable. Close shot of James' face, kind of building the tension of what he's looking at. Then you have a point of view shot from George's view, kind of like, I mean, James's view onto George, because here's George in his office building working as he's studying him. Kind of just another close-up shot, just a different like way of framing it. It's a side shot, building rhythm between looking back and forth. George starts sleeping. It's the same like point of view shot that James has. And there's a close shot of James getting bored, and he starts to eat. And he starts reaching down, and he starts sliding down the wall so those arrows convey, and he starts reaching for his cooler. Then you have a close-up of the cooler, taking out his sandwiches, and he has that, and took out that manila folder that he's going to be looking at the file to see where to go next. And then here you have the close shot of the wind blowing away the food and the paper. You know, here you can see the mustard getting on the files and whatnot, and there's the wind, and everything's blowing the opposite direction. So that is that scene. And I had a little note here, I do not have any red. I know in my presentation it says that he's wearing a red jacket, but I only had orange, so I hope that works. So these are my storyboards.